and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second broadcast of the night, our second best of 9, as we just wrapped up with the Enki Epic Series. Now we're here with the Enki Super Series number 3, a best of 9 show match between Clem and Dark. Let's go. I'm of course host Live VIP. With me I'm joined by these two amazing players and by the people in the chat and by my plushies as always as well. Again, shout out to Enki. Enki's been hosting the Super Series, these show matches, on a monthly basis. We were there for the first, the second, and now the third Super Series as well. Again, best of 9s are a rare sight nowadays in StarCraft 2, so it's great to embrace this longer series and this longer format, and also amazing to feature these two players as well. Again, Dark, we don't get to see much of him anymore. Dark, he has been less and less active over time in the past couple of months this year in 2025. The reasoning for this is, of course, Dark, it does feel like he is making his transition away from StarCraft and getting ready for the military. We do have confirmation that he is going to the military here in April. We don't know the exact date, but he is going, and because of that, he has been playing in even less tournaments, and we have been able to at least feature him in some show matches. We've been able to invite him to some specific show matches or specific invitational tournaments. So we have been getting a little bit of Dark, you know, maybe like once a week sort of thing, and I'm happy to feature him as often as we can while we can, before he does head on off and go and do his military service. So, here we go. So yeah, hopefully we're able to. So yeah, I'm excited to feature him, and we'll see how he compares to Clem. I will say that I'm not really expecting too much out of Dark just because he's out of practice, but I said the same thing about Dark versus Max. For those that are unaware, I believe Dark, he did have a show match versus Max. I think that was around 2 or 3 weeks ago. Not too long ago, and Dark, he popped off. Like, he had a very strong showing. To be fair, I do, I would say that Max's weakest matchup is TvZ, and Dark, he can be very aggressive and very difficult to read in the ZVP matchup, so it is very different. It is a very different kind of matchup, a very different dynamic, as opposed to Zerg versus Terran, so I feel like that's where Dark could thrive a little bit more. And yes, it was the Super 734, where Dark did defeat Max 4-2 in a best of 7. That was pretty recently, so it was a crazy impressive result out of Dark. But again, different matchup, different opponents, different kind of dynamic. Here against Clem, we'll see what he's able to bring to the table, especially because they're going to be featuring a more standardized map pool. Bearing in mind that in the current kind of environment of StarCraft, a lot, if not all, online tournaments do feature custom map pools instead, featuring the TLMC 20 maps. But here in this show match, I believe we will be featuring instead the ladder map pool. So we're going to be able to feature maps like Abyssal Reef, Neon Violet Square, and King's Cove. Oh boy. So some of those older maps are going to be featured once again, which I would say is a rare sight. Like, we cast StarCraft twice a day, every single day, and nowadays, again, we rarely cast those ladder maps just because no one features them anymore, but we get to feature them here in this show match. Now, let's go. Game 1 is going to be on King's Cove. So yeah, jumping into our best of 9. And we can get into it. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of King's Cove, we have our French Terran player. We have the blue Terran. Representing Team Liquid, it is Clem. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. It is Dark. Here we go. Dark, of course, even still being the best Zerg player in South Korea. I think that's one of the most bittersweet things about Dark going to the military, is that right now Dark is very much so in form. Dark, he's very much so at the top of the region, at the top of the scene. He is one of the best Zerg players in the world. I would say he's the best Zerg player in South Korea, and I would say either top 3 or top 2 in the world overall. And because of that, that's why it's, you know, a little bit sad to see him go, and we'll see how he compares to Clem. Now, there's a lot to get into here already. 2-Rex Reaper build here, an opener by Clem, so a very aggressive and assertive start. We'll see what Clem can get done. This map is an interesting one. We're loading into King's Cove. King's Cove is very defendable. Because of that, Dark very often does open gasless. So far we have Hatch first. We'll see if he does go gasless. Now, the reasoning for this is because of the base layout, and yep, there it is. It's going to be Hatch, it's going to be Hatch pull into Hatch, gasless opener. As you mentioned, this is a lot more common on larger maps. So depending on the map, depending on the size, does kind of facilitate for being greedy here. So maps like Abyssal Reef, Neon Violet Square, and King's Cove, these three maps that I mentioned, you see this opener much more commonly. Now the reasoning for this is because it is easier to defend on 3 bases than on other maps like Whispers of Gold or El Dorado is more viable, but like Whispers of Gold or Ultra Love, or even maps like Ley Lines. On the 3 maps that I just mentioned, you can be much more aggressive and you can punish this that much more. Here it is easier to cut those corners as Reapers are on the way. So it's a really interesting dynamic here so far. Now Reapers, to deal with this eventually, once you get into link speed, you can punish said Reapers. Right now Dark has to rely on the queens. Remember, no gas, no link speed. When it comes to how defendable you are on these 3 bases, the reasoning for this is we have a very narrow ramp coming into the natural, and it is very easy to wall this area off. When Dark does open gasless, he very often does wall off with a Roach Warren, so he should be walling off this area in the mid game. But early on, can he keep up and can he maintain himself against the Reapers? Remember, there's no link speed on the horizon. Typically, link speed would be the timing, would be the opportunity for Dark to punish this, but there is no link speed. So the Reapers are building up. 1 link already goes down. It's 1 link so far. And he does dance well. Second Reaper has arrived. Queen does move forward. A second link falls. Just 2 for the time being. Meanwhile, more Reapers are on the way. And did I say 2-Rax Reaper? We're going up to, and we're committing into 3-Rax Reaper. Clem, he's going to have a little momentum on his side as he takes down another Ling. And I'm concerned here for Dark. Queen defense early on typically is enough, but against 3-Rax Reaper and without link speed, it's going to be that much more difficult here for Dark. As more Reapers are flooding across the map. Now this is not all in. Clem is expanding, but this is designed to get damage done, to get drone kills and even Queen kills. Speaking of, 1 drone already goes down. The Queen's getting low. Yeah, the Queen's getting very low here. And can he bring them down? He can. Oh my god, they're getting so close. Dark, he pulls away in time. The drones! Yeah, the mineral line is exposed. 2 workers go down. And these losses, they're adding up. They're adding up here. There's still more Reapers rallying. He's still making 3 at a time. And Dark, he's being overwhelmed. And a big reason for this is the build of choice, the gasless opener. Clem doing an amazing job at punishing this. As 1 Reaper finally goes down. Oh, no transfuse. Queen falls. He gets 1. He gets 2. Yeah, 2 queens go down. And he might just get the final queen. And that might just be game. Like, if he can get that final queen, that might just be game then and there. Another Reaper gets targeted. Another queen does come in. Again, Dark doing everything he can to just barely hold on. Meanwhile, Clem is double expanding. 3rd TC in the main base. Clem just getting further ahead. And there's no saving these queens. Yeah, there's no transfuse. And it looks like Clem, he can overwhelm. Does get 1 final transfuse towards the end. More Lings are flooding in. But again, without Link speed, there's nothing to be scared of. Like, these Reapers, they will kill Dark. They will kill him. They will overwhelm. We were talking about how the strength of this opener from Dark really comes into fruition in the mid game. But Dark, he's not going to get there. He's not going to get there, at least not unscathed. I'm afraid to look at how many links have gone down. I'm very afraid. As every link falls. Reapers, they overwhelm, getting another queen. And so far, 48. Jesus Christ. 48, 50 link kills, 50 links, 5 queens. And remember, Clem is double expanding. He's getting up to triple CC behind this. This is almost like a build order win, basically. Like, as we mentioned, without link speed, how do you deal with this? You don't. You don't deal with Mass Reaper. And there are still 0 gases. There is no link speed. There never will be. At least not this early on in the game. Reapers, they bypass the queens. They head for the mineral line. Drones are exposed and workers are falling. And Dark cannot keep up. The slow Lings waddle in, but Clem can just kite back. He can just kill all the Lings. He knows the queens are on the low grounds. And with that, Clem, he gets another 8 drone kills. Just running rings here around Dark. Has the low ground queens. I mean, the queen count is building up, true. Now getting him to 6 queens. It's a hefty queen count, so Dark, he will survive. He will survive, he will zone this away. The queen count is high enough where you can actually fight toe-to-toe with the Reapers, but these Reapers, they have more than paid for themselves. They've gotten 67 lings, 5 queens, and 10 drones, and these Reapers might not kill Dark, but the stim timing will. Right now, Clem is building up his bio army, working towards stim, getting to his add-on swap into double medevac production as well, and Clem is looking to snowball out of control from here. And again, overall, this was just a really solid build choice for Clem. Just to reiterate once again, Dark, he is known for going for specifically this build, and we did list a couple of maps earlier on King's Cove, on Neon Violet Square, on Abyssal Reef, and I would even put El Dorado in that as well. Not just Dark, but Cyril. I mean, in general, a lot of Zerg players. GG gets called. Clem, he will everyone, and Clem will take game number 1. Whew, GG. But yeah, Zerg players, they're known for cutting corners on King's Cove, and going for 3x Reaper is a really strong way to just completely shut that down and to hard counter Dark. As you mentioned, without gases and without link speed, how do you keep up? How do you deal with those Reapers? The answer is, again, you don't. You don't deal with the Reapers. The Reapers, they just especially with the control of Clem, they're able to just pivot in between the bases, pick off more lings, pick off queens, pick off drones, and just gain insane value. We didn't even get to that stim timing, so a very strong start for Clem. And this does also set a tone for the series. Suddenly, we mentioned how Dark, he does like going gasless on certain maps. Now, does he commit to that? Is he going to be forced to play more orthodox, more standard? Is he going to be forced to play hatch gas pool instead? Here we go. As we're now just getting into game number 2, loading into ley lines. Let's go. We're loading into ley lines here. To begin with, I mean, this is a map where you do open standard. Gasless openers are not nowhere near as viable here on as open of a map as this. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines. We do have the French Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player from South Korea down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Dark. What if Clem would play Toss against Dark? I doubt it. Clem, he only plays Protoss against other Terran players. It is a mirror matchup specific thing. I would definitely favor Dark against Clem's Protoss. I mean, yeah, for sure. But now though, we're going to be getting into our games, and oh, okay, Dark, he does mix it up, going pool first. Now, in general, welcome one more to Ley Lines. Ley Lines is a much more aggressive map in the map pool. Say much more aggressive, at least compared to maps like Amygdala, Abyssal Reef, Neon Violet Square, King's Cove. This map is a little bit more open, a little bit more accessible when it comes to the 3rd, the 4th, and 5th base. Clem, he does often snowball out of control in the mid game here. He can be hyper aggressive when it comes to his 8 racks timings, or even before that, his 7-minute timing as well, getting it like a truck. But this is where Dark can now make use of his own more wide berth of openers and wide berth of styles, opening up pool first. Now the goal here should be to hide his lings, to skirt around the edge, and to try to delay the CC of Clem and cause a little bit of chaos early on. As the spawning pool is done, ooh, okay, it is going to be a Roach Warren behind this. So we have the initial lings, as we mentioned. The goal here is to move out and to try to keep Clem busy. But the Roach Warren behind this is that much more committed here. Now, this shouldn't be an all-in. This should be an initial commitment into Roaches to take over the natural and then to join up behind this. Typically. We'll see if Dark does commit to an all-in. I'm thinking, 3-4 Roaches before droning. Early lings are revealed. Clem is now aware of the pool first. The Reaper moves out to keep up and to try to shut down these lings. And it's going to be on Clem. Again, he already knows it's a pool first. What he doesn't know is how committed is this. Did mention 3 to 4 roaches. There we go. We have 3 roaches on the way. So Dark is looking to move out. And we'll see if he drones up behind this. Getting up to a 4th roach. Reaper does dip in. The Reaper will confirm. Gets eyes on the Roach Warren. Roaches pop out and the Reaper will barely get away. Whew. Does get away. Does pull out. Dark, meanwhile, who he commits. Okay, he's making more roaches. Getting up to 5. Now he drones. Okay, so he's going to be getting up to 5. We assumed, again, like 3 to 4. It gets up to 5, so a little bit more of a bigger commitment here from Dark. That is a little bit risky. It means that Dark has to get more damage, and you can see Clem taking it very seriously. Bunker on the high ground. He's safe and sound. He's with the bunker. He's ready to evacuate the natural and just to give up and just to defend the main. Meanwhile, Dark is droning. Again, this is an aggressive start, but by no means is it an all-in. This is designed to deny mining at the natural for as long as possible and to give Dark the edge coming into the mid-game. So Dark is droning up as hard as he can. So far, the Reaper doing an amazing job here, just chipping away at those roaches. The Reaper does outrange the roach. And Clem, he will evacuate that low ground. Bunker is done. Nice save on the SEV. And Clem holds. Clem, he holds on. But again, as a reminder, this isn't about breaking or killing Clem. This is about denying mining at the natural for as long as possible. Because of the high ground vision, going for the depot as well. Nice pickoff. Depot goes down. He gets one. He could even get the other depot. Going for the piles. Going for the piles. Nice lock on here, but the lock on gets broken. Marines move out. Oh, and Clem, he breaks free. Yeah, takes down one roach, takes down one, takes down two, takes down three. Oh my god. And Dark overextends. Yeah, massive loss here for Dark. He's gonna lose everything. Losing all the roaches, all the ravagers. Ideally, you pick off a depot and you maintain the low ground, but he lost everything real fast and real quick, and now suddenly Dark is in a rough position. Suddenly, this wasn't as worth it. This was a big investment. Again, 3 roaches, 2 ravagers, and an overlord. For what? For 1 SEV. For 1 SEV and 1 depot. Ideally, you contain Clem a little bit longer, and Dark, he failed to do so. He failed to contain. With that, Clem, he re-expands, he resaturates. 3rd CC is on the way. Clem, he has map control, he's moving out, looking for extra overlords. We'll see if we can find some more overlords. We'll see what he can get done. Oh, even just going for the third hatchery. Going for the 3rd base. Dark, he's massing up some roaches to defend. As we reinforce with the 2nd cyclone. The 2nd cyclone comes in. A brutal pickups, losing 2 more roaches, and Dark, he may just be overwhelmed here and now. Yeah, again, the opener was lackluster. Didn't get what he wanted. Another roach goes down. Dark, he's holding. Link speed is almost done. And Dark, he's flooding links. He's going for an all-in. He's going for an all-in. 3rd base is denied. Yeah, Dark, he cannot macro from here. Not anymore. Just too many losses. Losing that 3rd base. Dark, he commits. He's rallying across the map. Can he surround? Can he catch Clem out? Oh! Gets a Marine. Going for the natural. Nice kiting here from Clem. It kites back well. Cleans up the links. Meanwhile, the all-in continues. Clem, he catches out reinforcements. Marines going down. Links going down. More links here across the map as well. And Dark, he's lost all his links. He's lost all his links. Dark, he has no more momentum here. He has a handful of links left over. Dark is droning. Dark is attempting to re-expand, but Dark is in a very rough position here. Oof. As these are the final links of Dark. And Dark, from here, what do we go for? Right now he's on hatch tech, so he doesn't even have roach speed. Of course, the 3rd base was denied, so he's lacking bases, lacking economy. A 2-base all-in makes the most sense, but I mean, he kind of just went for one, and he lost all of his lings. Clem taking a 3rd. Dark is double expanding. This might just be for larva, as Dark is focusing on link production. He's morphing in as many Ravagers as he can as well. It's all or nothing for Dark. Now back at home, what do we have to defend? There are no tanks. Yeah, no tanks. There's some bio here, but I do think that Clem maybe has been a little bit too greedy. Dark, he can definitely make something happen here. And Dark's moving in, catches out the SEVs. Lanes are flooding across the map. And Dark, he cuts orders at 40. Yeah, it's just for larva. This expansion is just for larva. No droning, no saturation. Dark, he is looking to end the game here and now. However, the first tank has arrived. And Dark, now he decides to drone. And remember, he just invested into this, into all these lings. He just went for a massive ling flood, and now it looks like Dark, he realizes he cannot break the natural. Dark is droning up behind this. These are late drones. And he does get 4 CVs. Oh. We see Clem trying to bait Dark into tank range. Files a Duke, raise the Marines. Oh my god, the CC's low. Late lift here from Clem. Does he react in time? He does. Whew. Just in time, he gets a repair off. Yeah. That would have been disastrous. But the command center does live. Clem holds. And again, Dark, he's been desperately redroning, resaturating. He's still behind economically. But Dark, he is somewhat recovering. Now getting into 1-1 upgrades, Bane's speed. His goal here is to get into Ling Bane Roach Ravager. He does at least save all the Ravagers this time, true. But I worry about this sim timing. I'll be honest. Like, sure, Dark, he denied mining at the third, and he saturated his own, but the army is lacking. Yeah, Dark, his army is lacking, and I don't see him surviving this. Not without Banelings. Not without Baneling's speed. Liberator comes in. Dark, he's massing up an army. He's got 8 Roaches, 3 Ravagers, but that's a lot of man with gun. Clem, he stims in, cleans up the tumors. Oh, tank gets caught out. Clem, he reacts in time. Siege up those tanks with all his Marines who will defend the tanks. And Clem stimming forward. Lings, they come in from behind. They're going to be shut down. They get 1 tank. Ooh, Bio connects on the Cyclone. But Clem, he can stim, and he can win. He does start step up the ramp, takes down all the Roaches, takes down the Queens. And Dark is broken. Dark, he's being broken. Trickling in with a couple of Roaches, but it's not going to be enough. Clem has too much momentum from the early game. And Dark, he's down to 1 Ravager. GG gets called. Clem, he will take a 2-0 lead. Whew, GG. He will take a 2-0 lead again. Sorry, I just realized there we go. Take a 2-0 lead again. When it comes to Dark's build and Dark's style, Dark, he was so heavily reliant on his first wave of Roaches and Ravagers. If you remember, his goal with his 5 Roaches, technically it was 3 Roaches and 2 Ravagers, his goal was to delay the expansion, and he failed to do so. He delayed it for like a couple of seconds, but very quickly Clem broke out. Clem did, or I should say Dark overextended. He lost his army, and from that moment, Dark, he was behind. He was trying to recover, trying to recoup his losses. Basically, he had put his own economy behind for his Roach Rush, and the Roach Rush failed. Because it failed, like that's where we saw Dark trying to recover. He did go for a couple of Ling Rumbyes and Ling Floods, but again, they just did not get enough damage. We saw that Clem, he maintained his lead from the early game that snowballed into that game state that we saw. That's why that fight didn't go Dark's way, is because the lead up to it did go so heavily in Clem's favor. And we'll see if we can get some stronger early game. What I will say, so far in Game 1 and Game 2, so far in this series, it has been determined by the early game. Game 1, it was 3-Max Reaper out of Clem. Game 2, it was the failed pull first into Roach Rush out of Dark. It's been all about that early game. We'll see how the early game unfolds coming into Game 3, as we're leading into Neon Violet Square. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Neon Violet Square, we have the French Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid, leading the series 2-0. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, down in the series, but it's the best of 9. Best of 9, plenty of games ahead of us. It is Dark. Now, this is where we have to talk about the opener that we saw in King's Cove. Gases, right? We saw a Gases opener on King's Cove, and we saw that the way that Clem, in a way, hard countered and blind countered the Gases opener of Dark was with 3 Rax Reaper. But there's something about Neon Violet Square. No cliff. There is no Reaper cliff coming into the main base, so Dark going hatchery into a pool, into another hatchery without gases is more viable on Neon Violet Square, because Reaper aggression and 2 and 3 Rax Reaper is less effective on Neon Violet Square. So the maps, they do play a big part into this, and I'm assuming that Dark is going to cut corners. Speaking of, look at this drone. Now, I assumed, yeah, there we go, hatch, pool, hatch. Gases opener out of Dark. As you mentioned at the beginning of the series, it is very common to see this build and to see these openers on the larger maps, on Abyssal Reef, King's Cove, and Neon Violet Square. And we're seeing it here. We saw it on King's Cove, but it got punished on King's Cove. Here, it shouldn't be punished. Here, Clem is going for a standard opener, but even if Clem did attempt to go 2 or 3 Rex Reaper, it would be significantly less effective on this map. So it is safer for Dark to do this. So it's hyper greed. Very greedy build here out of Dark, going gasless, but you can get away with it even easier on this map. It is more viable. So far so good. So Dark, he does have a very greedy, very strong opener. Now, with this does mean that Dark, his link speed is going to be heavily delayed. We spoke about this on King's Cove, but this does often lead into roach play. Because link speed is so late, by the time we take gases, we usually just skip link speed and go straight into roaches, into Roach Ravager. From there, we can go into Ultra Tech, into +1 melee, or we can go into a bit of a different composition from Roach Ravager into Lurkers. Dark will have options. We'll get there once we embrace the mid game. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Meanwhile, Clem does poke in, dancing with the army. Now, from the side of Clem, likewise, greed can also be taken advantage of here as well. What do we have? We have pocket bases. There are pocket bases, so if Clem wanted to, he could go for a 3rd TC on location, so Clem can also cut corners. Speaking of 3rd TC, it is on location, not in the pocket, but here at the center expansion. Very greedy here by Clem. It is a little bit more risky, but something important just happened. Clem, he scouted. He saw the fast 3rd. Clem, even though he didn't get into the main base, he knows what the build is. He saw the fast 3rd, so he knows it is a gasless opener, which means he knows there's no link speed, which means he knows that there is nothing to punish this base. So upon knowing this, upon recognizing this, Clem, he will be able to be greedy, cut corners, 3rd CC on location. This is almost never seen in SE2, but you can do this when you know it's safe to do so. Clem, is this Clem or is this Spirit? Double expanding, 3rd CC and a 4th CC also on location before the starport. This is one of the most greediest builds you can go for. I say one of the most greediest builds. If you remember, Radisson Station like 2 years ago, Spirit versus Solar, we saw Spirit go 4 CC before Factory on Radisson Station. This is 4 CC before starport into double factor. Oh my god. So this isn't as greedy as Spirit, but this is pretty greedy, and into mech of all things, into what looks to be battle mech. Let's go. So Clem, he's being quite wild here. In general, I do really like how greedy he's being. Switching into mech, that is more out of left field, but mech can be a much more efficient composition, and specifically on Neon Violet Square, because you can be this greedy, because your bases are safer, mech is something that hits even stronger. It does hit different on Neon Violet Square. Oh boy. So we are popping off. Meanwhile, back at home, Dark is now taking his gases. If you recall, we did assume that Dark was going to go into roach play. Dark, he has gas for link speed, and you can see no link speed. No link speed for Dark. So we do expect to see a roach one. We do expect to see a lair momentarily as well. There it is. Lair is on the way. Now, what is my biggest concern coming into this is that Dark, he has not scouted the main. He has not seen the main base. He does not know what's going on. He does not know that mech is coming. Greed is expected on Neon Violet Square. Mech, not as much. I mean, we have seen a lot of mech on Neon, don't get me wrong. You know, shout out to Clem, shout out to Ryung, shout out to even Maru and Beyond have embraced mech on this map in the past. But despite that, it's not something that you expect to see all the time. So Dark is still trying to piece it all together. Meanwhile, double Evo Chamber. Interesting. Double Evo Chamber, he is getting link speed. Now, these upgrades are late, but it does look like Dark is not going roach. Now, suddenly, some more tech becomes available. Something like Mutaplay. Depending on the gases, we do see 2 gases in the main base, 2 gases here at the 3rd base, 1 gas here at the natural. Do we go Lingbane Muta here from Dark, or just Lingbane into Hydra Lurker tech? Dark has options. Mutaplay is more viable on these larger maps just because getting punished for Mutaplay it's more difficult to pull off just because the map is so large, the rush distance is so long, and the bases are more defendable. So it is more viable for something like Mutas. But if it was Mutas, we would have seen Aspire by now, right? The layer is already done. So we're ruling out Mutas. Right now, I'm leaning towards Lingbane into Ultra. So Lingbane Ultra, yep, there it is, Infestation Pit. So this does scream Lingbane Ultra from the side of Dark. Dark does enjoy doing this on larger maps. Again, as we mentioned, Lingbane Ultra can be quite greedy, and you are very vulnerable to drop play, but on these larger maps, drop play is less effective. Or it just takes longer to, like, get across the map and to rotate in between the bases. So Darky's keeping up. Why is it getting into his own hive tech? Back at home, we have Battle Mech building up from a Clem, and Dark is unaware still. And I am concerned for Dark. I'm concerned because if his goal here is, yeah, there we go. So again, he's rushing into Ultra Tech, but as he's rushing into Ultras, that means no Roaches, no Hydras, it's just pure Ling Bane. He can potentially surround this army. We'll see if he can pull it off. Hellions, they poke in. Because of the sheer amount of Hellions, Dark is now aware, getting ready for his own counterattack. Bane speed is on the horizon. There we go. Roach War now gets thrown down. The original plan was to skip Roaches, but Dark, he has to make Roaches against this. He has to react to what Clem is doing. Banelings are waddling in, and the wall is broken. They bust down the front door. Lings flood in. They're going for the Hellions, and the Hellions are low. That Baneling did connect. Dark, he busts in, surrounds one of the Cyclones. Hellions, they kite well against this, and Hellions, they race back home. The Ling Runway does nothing. I say it does nothing, it distracts Clem. It keeps him busy, it pulls him back home, gets a couple of SCVs. Dark, he has gained map control, and he's headed towards that center expansion. And oh, this is not a planetary, it's an orbital. Very greedy. Very greedy here from Clem. Banelings roll in. Clem, does he react in time? He does. Good reactions, he does pull away. Shuts down the Banelings. And he will clean this up. Yeah, losing only 2 SCVs. Very nice defense out of Clem, and now he's going for the gold. So Clem is snowballing out of control economically. He has a booming economy here. Meanwhile, the hive is complete. We're getting into Adrenal, and we're waiting for that Ultra Cavern. Against Battle Mech, I'll be honest, I'm not too sure about its effectiveness. Ooh. As the wall is broken. Wall is broken. For now, Dark, he just embrace. I mean, he has to embrace Roaches. He has to. Lings, they do hit the gold. SVs are going down. Clem getting pulled apart a little bit here. Once again, no planetary. He's so greedy. Once again, no planetary. And yeah, Dark, he has to embrace this Mass Roach. He's now getting to +1 range. Again, the upgrades are lacking here for Dark because he wasn't not expecting mech. So he's still not ready for this. Clem, he breaks out. He breaks free. We have another Ling Runway here set up for the goal base. Again, it's an orbital, so there's no defenses back at home. And Clem, he turns everything around. Yeah, he turns everything around. He has to race back home to defend. And Dark, he's buying time, building up his Roach counts. Getting to +1 range. Saturating his bases. He's got a decent economy, now going for his own gold. But in a head-on fight, I still favor Clem. Still favor Clem here. He has a massive amount of Cyclones. Dark setting up a surround, coming in from behind. Yeah, surround is going to be the ideal. Meanwhile, Clem forces his way through. There's a burrow. Lings are coming from behind. The Hellions, they roast up the Lings. But we do get a surround. The Roaches, they make sure there's no escaping this. Yeah, very nice body blocking by Dark. He shuts down the Cyclones, gets us around. The best fight the Dark could have hoped for. And Clem, he will lose everything. Whew. He escapes with one side. He escapes with 2 Hellions, not even a Cyclone. Lings, they counterattack at the same time. And again, that was the best fight the Dark could have hoped for. Clem, he was so deep on creep. And Clem is in trouble. Clem is in trouble for the first time in the series. Clem overextended. Mine shots going off. Roaches, they wreak havoc here on the high ground. They deny mining. Nice split push here by Dark. Headers towards the natural. Likewise, Dark pushing in towards the gold. Oh. Mine shots don't quite connect. Clem, he's on 90 SCVs. Jesus. He's on 90 workers. Dark moving in. And we do see these Cyclones having very nice trades against this. Picking off those Roaches, kiting back. But Dark, he may just have an overwhelming amount of Roaches here. He's pushing forward. Oh, catching out another wave. Another set of Cyclones. Clem is being forced all the way back to his own naturals, being forced back. Ooh, even forcing friendly fire. And it's Dark as he keeps the main army busy. Lings, they flood into the goal base. They flood into the third. And Clem, he has no more economy here. And I still stand by what I said earlier. Clem, in a head-on fight, he definitely could have taken Dark, but he was not ready for the surround. Like, the surround, again, was just the best move that Dark could have gone for. It won him the game. GG gets called, and Dark, he does bounce back. Dark, he puts a point on the board. We have a back and forth. Whew, let's go. Let's go. GG, well played. Again, Dark, he was having a bit of a harder time punishing the greed of his opponents, going for Ling run-bys, going for Ling counterattacks. We saw that Clem, he was the one that after defending, did break out across the map, and he did overextend. He pushed far too far forward onto creep. We saw that Dark, he was able to not just come in from behind, but body block the army, made sure that the Cyclones could not escape, and Clem, he lost any kind of momentum that he once had. He lost the entire army. GG. The entire army. GG, well played. Darky does fight back, and we have a back and forth. We have a series. Up next, we're going to be loading into Ultra Love. Let's go. Let us go. 2 Hellions spared to spread fear amongst the other mechs. True. Oh no. Oh no. As we're now getting into game number 4. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our French Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid, leading the series 2-1, but dropping a map and losing a bit of momentum. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is Clem. Ooh, opening up 2x Reaper once again. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we do have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, fighting back, putting a point on the board. It is Dark. Here we go. Now, when it comes to this build choice here of Clem, as a reminder, he did pop off, he did overwhelm, he did wreak havoc on King's Cove, but that was because Dark did blindly play Gasless. He went into a Gasless opener and a Gasless build. That's where Clem was able to overwhelm and exceed. Here, we expect Hatch Gas Pool. We expect a standard opener out of Dark as we are loading into a much smaller map that is Ultra Love. Yep, there it is. So Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener. Again, this is expected out of Dark on this map. Because of that, this build out of Clem is going to be less effective. This can gain map control and this can delay the third, but it shouldn't end the game like we saw previously on King's Cove. So 2x Reaper into an expansion into a 2-on-1 follow-up is most likely on the horizon here from Clem. Meanwhile, Dark back at home going for his own Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener into Ling Speed. Now Clem may opt to go for a third Rax, but we can see that there is no third Rax, so most likely he's going to be expanding and getting into a standard follow-up. Now, just to reiterate, and again, it's been a while since this has been a part of the meta, but 2x Reaper is not designed to kill. It is not designed to kill drones or to kill queens. This is designed to delay and deny the third. That's the goal. Like, if Clem can achieve that, like that's enough. Is to deny the third base and to contain the Zerg player onto 2 bases. That is the ideal for, or that is again the minimum that Clem wants. We'll see if we can pull it off. What I will say is that Zerg players have gotten better and better at trying to sneak out and maintain a third base, despite the plethora of Reapers that are coming. Dark, of course, he confirms. He does scout both Raxes, and you can see he's checking for a third Rax. So he wants to make sure he doesn't get 3x Reapered. Confirms there is 2. First Reaper pokes in. And Clem, he does pull back, investing into an extra pair of Lings. Queens are on the way. Once the Queens arrive, he can just maintain this position. And you can see that Darky does not have a drone at any third base location. So already this is working. Already Clem, you can see he's checking. He's checking for the third base. There is no third. That's all he wanted. All he wanted was deny the third base. And so far, so good. And that's why you can see Clem, he doesn't make any more Reapers. 3 Reapers is all you want. And 3 Reapers is all that Clem has. Now he's switching. Now he's going for an add-on swap into Reactor Tech Lab into Stim into Bio. So 3 Reapers is all you need. And Clem is transitioning. Third CC in the main base factory as well. Dark does confirm the transition, and now the pressure's on Dark to expand. The longer this goes on, where Dark doesn't have a third, the worse it's going to be for our Zerg player. So Dark, he needs that third hatchery. There we go, third base now on the way. Clem, he pokes into the main. And the game will continue. And again, so far, like Clem, he did well. He did well for himself. He heavily delays the third base of Dark, and now it's on Dark to recover. Now, with Ling Speed finishing up, he's hunting down those Reapers. KDA charge does go up. Despite that, Reapers are going to get surrounded. 1 Reaper is going to go down, but looks like just the 1. Oh, nice movement. Getting 2. He gets around, he takes down 2 of the Reapers, and the 3rd Reaper will fall as well. Very nice catch here by Dark. Shuts down all 3 Reapers. And again, Dark is expanding and joining up. Meanwhile, as I mentioned, Clem, he's going for his 2-1-1, sorry, his 3cc 2-1-1 follow-up. He's going for a stim timing with his Medivacs. the game will progress into the mid-game. Now, because Dark's third is so late, it is not uncommon for Zerg players to take a faster fourth to catch up. To take a faster fourth base to catch up when it comes to production, when it comes to saturation as well. So we'll see if Dark does cut corners and go for a faster fourth. Otherwise, we're selling it. Whew. So the next big power spike and the next big kind of moment in this game is going to be that stim timing. You can see stim is almost done. Stim is almost done, and this should be lined up with these medevacs. You can see the add-on swap here, starports onto the reactor, into the first two medevacs. Meanwhile, Dark is going lair first. So lair first build out of Dark. Opening up lair first. With this should lead into banelings, yep, into bailiness, into delayed Evo chambers. So this is a very safe play out of Dark. Yep, you can see the Evo chambers have been delayed in favor of the lair, in favor of the bailiness, in favor of bailing speed. So safe play out of Dark. Dark, he also gets eyes on the third CC timing. Dark is aware. Pulls away, he spots the Marines, and now it's on Dark to make as many links as he can to deflect the Bio Army. So Queens, they push forward. It's going to be how many? 7 Queens and 20 links to defend. 1-1 upgrades have begun. And you can see Clem, he's rotating to deny the fourth. There is no fourth base. We mentioned that Dark, he had the option to double expand. He did not. Instead, Dark has been playing it safe. He's not been cutting corners. So very safe play here at the Dark. Meanwhile, Clem dropping into the main base. Dark, he will expand horizontally here. We'll take the linear fourth. Taking the linear expansion. Clem pulls away. Infestation bit is on the way. Now, as a reminder, if you remember on Neo-Violet Square, when we saw the Infestation bit, when we saw the Hive Tech, I did make the assumption that Dark was going Ling Bane into Ultra, and I stand by that. I believe that was the case, but then Dark scattered the mech, and then he switched into Roach play. Here against Bio, now there's no reason to switch into Roaches like we saw previously on Neo-Violet Square. Now, this should lead into Hive Tech and into Ultras. We'll keep an eye on Dark. Keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, Clem back at home, he's going for his third CC, saturating, getting to his own Bio production. Now, the downside of going Ling Bane into Ultra is your anti-air. As you can see here, there's no Spire, there's no Hydroden, anti-air is very limited, so drop play can really pop off, and we have seen many a player attempt to play this style and struggle against very heavy drop play. So Clem will have the opportunity here to try to pull Dark apart. The pressure is that much more on Dark to split up his army. You can see here he's got Ling Bane towards the top side, he's got Ling Bane towards the south side as well. He's splitting up his army to get ready for the drops. Clem, he will reinforce. Building up his own Bio armies as well. Building up his tanks, getting to 1-1. You can see Dark is ready for a run by. Once Clem reveals himself, Dark should pull the trigger. Hive is not yet done. Clem pushing onto creep. Dark is not in position to defend. Yeah, this base is exposed. You can see him respond. Dark, he races on over. He will get her in time. At the same time, here comes that run by, but there are defenses back at home. Oh, Dark, yeah, he won't trade too well here. He's forced to detonate on tanks. Not the best connections. Tanks do survive, and Clem defends. Yeah, Clem, he shuts down this army. Dark, he was hoping that this tanks would be further out, but they were here at the natural. So a very rough assault there from Dark. And the problem here, again, that was a lot of Ling Bane thrown away. That was 11 Banelings, 27 Lings. And that means that Dark is vulnerable. Meanwhile, there's the Ultra Cavern. As we mentioned, it's Ling Bane into Ultra. It's what we assumed would be the case on Neo-Violet Square. Hatchery goes down. Dark out of position. And Dark, he does have a big power spike on the horizon with those Ultras, but can he survive until Ultra Tech? Again, Dark is, it's looking rough for him. It's looking very rough. Like, losing that army means that Dark, he's down in supply, down in Ling Bane. Clem, he denied the expansion. We can see Dark attempting to re-expand. Ultra production has begun, getting into kindness plating. But Dark, he needs more time, and there's no creep. Yeah, there's no creep here. There's no vision. Clem, he rotates, and Dark, he doesn't see this rotation. You can see him pre-split his army, and he has some Banelings and some Lings, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, this army is terrifying. Dark, he's supply blocked, and before Dark can get into his Ultras, Clem, he's here to knock Dark down. Yeah, the base goes down for a second time. Massive pickoff. Dark is falling behind production-wise, falling behind economically as well. Clem is maxed. Dark going for a run-by here, but alas, Clem is ready for this. He has reinforcements. Banelings, they do get into the mineral line. Oh! Nice connections. 13 SCVs. That should not have happened, so a very nice connection there from Dark. Likewise, keeping up with drop play, but here comes the main army of Clem. And he's so close to the natural. The first Ultra is revealed, but no upgrades, no kind of slating. Oh, brutal mine connections. Ultra just melts. Yeah, hopping up there against the Banelings. And Clemmy just goes straight. Oh, he's going to take into the main. Clemmy maintains his position. More Ultras are building up. Banelings, once again, they roll in, but they do not get any SCVs. Stark is building up more Ultras, at least trying to. Gets on top of the bio. Clem dropping towards left-hand side. He trades well against the Lings. Yeah, no Banelings to defend. The Queens are under fire as well. Dark is keeping up. Ooh. Cleans up the drop. Keeps up with the main push. The Ultra kind of slowly building up here. And Kindness Plating this time is done. He's ready with Kindness Plating. The Ultras, they get into their final form. Meanwhile, Clem getting caught out. That's a lot of mines. Oh my god! Ooh, brutal mine connections. The Ultra barely survives. It's going to go down to the Marines. Likewise, Dark's trying to catch reinforcements. But Liberation has arrived as well. Clem, he does hold on to the natural. And Ultras are trickling in. They do get some good... The Banelings, they connect. Banelings, they connect across the map. Meanwhile, Clem, he does bust into the natural, catching reinforcements. Ultras are doing what they can, but on their own, Ultras, they don't really pose much of a threat. Not on their own. And Clem, it looks like he may have just done it. He may have just broken Dark. As Dark, he barely has an army. He was 3 more drones. Dark, he plummets in supply. He's racing back. Oh god, the Ultras, they're so low. Get out of here, Pappy. Get out of here. And Clem is almost maxed. He's almost maxed out. Clem, he will not be slowed down. He just keeps on pushing, keeps on going. And you could see that as soon as Dark lost that army when it came to the attempted run-by, like, momentum swung heavily in favor of Clem. And Dark could never expand. He could never take a 5th base. He was stuck on 4 bases. And likewise, Dark, he never maintained a foothold of creep in this area either, as he never took the expansion. Run-by does get into the mineral line. A lot of SCVs go down. Dark, he dives in, but he's pushing into Liberators. Oh god. He cannot move in. There's too much freedom. Too much liberation. As he comes back, GG gets called as Dark, he runs out of steam. And Clem, he will extend his lead 3-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played again. Just a rough start there for Dark. When it came to the openers, like, he was able to maintain himself, that is true, but you saw the moments where Dark, he did decide to fan out and to peel off his army on the right hand side to go for a run-by. Because of that, he was using the army to go for a counterattack instead of defending the 5th base. Because that, the counterattack failed, the 5th base was exposed, 5th base went down, and Dark, he never got a 5th base up and running. He was never able to spread creep in that area either, and Clem just made full use of that location, just keep pushing in towards the bases of Dark, towards the 5th, towards the natural, just better fights off of creep. GG. GG, well played. Just hyper aggression out of Clem. Once he gained that momentum, he never really did stop. We saw that Dark eventually got into Ultras towards the end, but he got there to, like, tread water. He didn't really have the best economy to sustain himself to really maintain any kind of maxed out Ultra composition. Never quite got there. Never got there. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into our next game here. We'll see if Dark can recover. Ooh, as we load into another smaller map. We're loading into Whispers of Gold. Whispers of Gold being the smallest map in the map pool, a very aggressive map as well. And it's these smaller maps like Ultra Love, like Ley Lines, like Whispers of Gold, where Clem does thrive. Oh boy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we do have our French Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. Leading the series 3-1. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. Down in the series, the pressure's on. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Dark. Here we go. Now, I did mention this, and Dark, he typically does thrive on these larger maps where you can cut corners, where you can be greedy, like King's Cove and Neon Violet Square, where we saw Dark go for these gasless openers. Here, on a very small map like Whistles of Gold, we expect Hatch Gas Pool. We expect some standard play out of Dark, and some safe play as well. It is very common to see Roach play on this map. Roach-based play and Roach-based openers are very safe. They're not very dynamic, they're not very aggressive, they're a little bit of a slower style, but players like Cyril, Dark, like they do often play Roaches on these smaller maps to try to defend and survive against the aggression of Clem. Again, because the map is smaller, it means that these timing attacks, these 1-1 timings, these stim timings, all these bio pushes, they hit even harder from the side of the Terran. Typically, the larger the map, the more breathing room the Zerg player has. But here, Clem, he can thrive. So we'll see how Dark will approach this. We'll see if he does even play Roach. He might not. He might play Ling Bane. Dark might try to go for a Roach opener into like a Roach all-in. He might try to be the aggressor instead. Dark can be very unpredictable at times. He can be very unpredictable, so we'll see what he goes for as well. Dark does move in. When it comes to Whistles of Gold, it isn't just about the rush distance by ground, it's also about how exposed the third base is. The third bases, plural, are exposed. There's no high ground advantage. Likewise, there's no choke point here on the triangular third base. There's a very wide ramp on the left and a very wide area here towards the top side as well. Very commonly, these rocks will be knocked down to reduce the time it takes to get across the map to make the rush distance even shorter on this map. Likewise, on the left as well, you can knock down these rocks and push towards the left-hand base even faster. There is somewhat of a choke point here that you can try to take advantage of, but we have seen many players attempt and fail to defend this base. So we'll see how Dark will approach the problem that is Clem. As for now, Clem, does he go for a 1-1-1? The answer is no, he's going for a third cease. Oh. He is going for a 1-1-1. Jesus. Now, we spoke about how aggression is boosted, or aggression is favored on this map. It's really assisted by the map in a lot of ways. Speaking of aggression, 1-1-1. No third CC in sight. This is one of the most aggressive openers you can go for here. With this, we're going to be getting into a heavier Hellion count, into faster starport production, faster Banshees. This can even lead into an armory, into a Hellbat push. So hyper aggression out of Clem. And we'll see how Dark will survive this, or will scout this even. Like, Dark doesn't know. Dark has no idea. So it's going to be on Dark to survive. Banshee production has begun, getting into Cloak. Hellions, they rush past, they head towards the mineral lines. Lings are going to get roasted, but really wants the drones. He wants those workers. Dark forced to pull away. Mining time is denied. Clem, he does pivot in between the gases. Nice positioning here with the queens. Very nice positioning. First Hellion goes down. So far it gets 2 drones. What did I say 2? Getting up to 4. Getting up to 7 as more Hellions. Oh, they do hit the natural. Dark is out of position. And he's being pulled apart. 8 drone kills already. That is insane damage. And Clem, he's setting himself up for success. This isn't killing Dark, but it may be the reason he dies, because Clem, he's not done. Remember, it's a 1-1-1. Very early stim timing. More Hellions rushing across the map. Clem, he's not done. Nowhere close. Nowhere near being done. As he's still rallying more Hellions. Second Rax is on the way. Still no third CC. And this is, especially with the earlier stim, yeah, this is looking like a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in out of Clem, setting up 3 Raxes here on 2 bases. Clem, he knows he has momentum. Dark going for a run-by on left-hand side. Does go for the run-by, does attempt a counterattack. I mean, the Hellions are not at home to defend, true. Checks, no saturation. No saturation at the third. Meanwhile, the Queens not quite in position. There are some Lings here at the natural. Lings, they bust into the natural waste as well. SCVs are going to be going down. Nice run by here by Dark. Meanwhile, Clem, he does get into that mineral line, roasting up drones. Drones are getting roasted. Lings likewise are going down. And Dark, can he wreak havoc? Can he get more SCV kills? There is a Banshee. No Hellions. No Hellions to defend. Getting 9 SCVs so far. Getting up to 10. Takes down a Mule. And so far, very necessary damage here from Dark. 13. Oh, getting up to 15. Oh my god, 15 SCVs. And even though Dark, he may have lost a lot of drones across the map, he gets 19 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. And Clem is punished. Clem is punished for his aggression. Remember, Clem, he had 8 Hellions. And what was he doing with them? He had them all across the map. Clem, he chose to dive, he chose to rush past the Queens, and he had 0 units to defend back at home. That is 19 SCVs. Dark is back in this game. He also got a full scout. Dark, he saw no command center. No command center. There's no longevity in this game for Clem. Stim is done, but Clem, he doesn't have an economy. Like Clem, he was hoping to go for a 2-base all-in. And yes, an all-in means that, you know, you're not really looking to have a greater economy, but you need an economy to sustain the all-in at least. And he doesn't have it. He's not on 2-base saturation. He cannot sustain the all-in, which means Dark, he has time to re-drone, re-saturate, take a lead, and get comfortable. And here comes a Roach Ward. As you mentioned, Roach play is a lot more common on Whispers of Gold. It is a very safe way to play. So we're getting to Roaches, getting to 1-1. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for Dark. As Dark did cripple the economy. And Clem can't really do much. Like, again, everything is delayed. Everything is delayed, everything is late. Because of that economic damage. Things were looking dire because of the Hellion run-bys, but Dark, his answer was to just ignore the Hellions. Just ignore the Hellions, just go across the map. Hope that Clem is overextending, and Clem did. Clem, he did overextend with the Hellions. He was overly aggressive. He got too excited. Clem, he was premature back. He was premature. Now he's moving in. And the problem now is that because of all the damage done earlier, this move out is that much weaker. It is weaker than what it should be. It is also later than it should be as well. So Dark, he's had more time to prepare, had more time to defend. Despite that, does he have enough? Remember, this is still a 2-base all-in. Clem, he sims in. Ravagers, they will finish up just in time. Ravagers are ready. Roach is going to be going down. Clem, he sims forward. Oh, he gets into the Roaches. He gets into the Ravagers. They're going to be going down. And despite the delayed all-in out of Clem, Dark, he barely wasn't ready for this. Yeah, Roaches are going down. Boys are being pulled. And Clem, he will eviscerate the economy here. This is still getting out of hand, despite the damage done earlier. Ay, ay, ay. I thought that maybe Dark had done enough. But no, apparently not. That's going to be 16 drone kills. Dark moving forward. Trying to get on top of that first tank. And takes down the tank. He will lose everything in the process here. Roach is going down left and right. Clemmy rallies in. Yeah, you can see 1-1 is finishing off for Dark after the end of the fight. So upgrade is a little bit too late there. Roaches, they rally in. It looks like Dark, he will barely hold on here. He takes down the final tank, but at the cost of 16 drones. And suddenly, Dark doesn't have the economic lead, doesn't have that greater economy to fall back on. And Clem, he's just rallying. He's just rallying everything across the map. Again, there's still, there we go. Now a third CC is on the way. Clem has done enough damage. Ay, ay, ay. Don't underestimate Whispers of Gold. True, true. I mean, again, we mentioned it before, and I feel like I have to reiterate that now. I mean, aggression is favored on this map. You have less of like a defensive features here at the third base. Rush distance is shorter. I mean, there's a reason why Clem did opt to go for a 2-base all-in to begin with. And even though it was delayed, still successful. Dark going for a counterattack. Back at home, there are some defenses. Dark, can he get on top of that tank? Oh, barely can. No pickup. No pickup on the tank. Nicely done. But there's a tank on the high ground. Likewise, Clemmy drops into the main base. Drops into the main, takes down the gases, takes down the Overlord. You see Clem punishing the Roach Ravager as well, getting the Ravagers. Files, they do connect. But Dark is being torn apart. He's being torn apart. Clem takes the worker lead. Again, he's trading well against the Roaches, trading minerals for gas. Picks up, he saves the tank. And Dark, does he have another Hail Mary play up his sleeve? Can he pull off another run by, another counterattack? Can he recover here? He did it once already in this game, true. Did it once before. Can he do it again? Yes, Clem dusts him in. Takes down the Roaches one after the other. Catching out Dark. Dark, he's trying to keep up, trying to hold on. I mean, again, these drops aren't really doing much damage, you're just keeping Dark busy. Clem, he secures his third base. Again, Clem, he has a greater economy. Second factory is on the way, taking extra gases as well. Building up into the mid-game. And Dark, he's still trying to recover as well, going for his own fourth. Still barely holding on. Oh! I also just realized that a lot of Clem's supply heroes are in medevacs, less so in bio or less so in tanks. But that's still a lot of bio. That's still more than I can say for Dark's army. As Clem, he slims in. Tactical Siege. Does force a cancel. That's all that Clem needed. Denies the fourth. Keeping Dark on a 3 base economy. Keeping him on 3 hatcheries. Files a pop-up to take down one of the tanks. One tank goes down. Oh. And yeah, he just cannot hold on against the Spider threats. No, without Ling Bane. Just pure Ravager does not trade well against this. Clem, he falls back to the tanks. Tank volleys going off. Marauders, they come in to reinforce. And Clem, he will overwhelm. And this was a crazy back and forth, but GG gets called. Clem will extend his lead 4-1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Clem had a very strong start. If you remember, he did have a Hellion runby that got 8 drone kills early on, but Clem overextended. He moved out with the second wave of Hellions, and that was the moment that Dark fought back. He fought back, he got across the map, he got over 20 SCV kills. It was crazy how much damage Dark did with his Ling counterattack, with his Ling runby. Dark, he got ahead when it came to his bases, when it came to his economy. He was getting into Roaches, and it looked like Dark was about to seal the deal. It looked like Dark was going to be able to deflect the all-in of his opponent and just get ahead from there and just snowball out of control. But despite the all-in being delayed, despite it being stifled, and despite it not being ideal for Clem, it still hit like a truck, and he still hit Dark just before he was ready. Dark, he was massing Roaches, he was getting into 1-1. If you remember, 1-1 finished after the fight concluded, after the all-in was successful. And Dark, he lost his lead. He lost the lead that he had accumulated. He lost everything at that third base. And Clem snowballed from there. GG. GG, well played. Very impressive push there from Clem. Despite things looking a little bit dire, pulled it off regardless. That leads us here into the next game, into Frostline. And we'll see if Dark can recover, or if Clem will take it from here. And even have a repeat of what happened with Hero. We go spawning in the top right hand corner of Frostline. We have the French Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Liquid, and 1 game away from taking the entire series and claiming this show match. It is Clem. He's having fun. Going for the proxy. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. Down heavily in the series. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Dark. As the SCVs have arrived, and it is going to be a Proxy 2-rack. So Proxy 2-rack's bunker rush here by Clem. Now, as a reminder, this is not all in. This is not all in. This is designed to give Clem a lead, and you can transition out of this after dealing damage on the low ground. Now, this can end the game, don't get me wrong, this can end the game, otherwise it could cripple Dark and can allow Clem to recover and get into his natural and get into a longer game state. We'll see how Dark responds to this. As the Overlord is moving out, and you can see Dark, he is checking for a proxy, and based on the rally, it looks like Dark will scout the Raxes. Oh no, okay. He adjusts the rally. No, he adjusts the rally. The rally is going to be closer here to the natural, which means Dark, he will not see the Raxes. He might see the SCVs, but he does re-rally the Overlord. And Dark, he will not see the proxy. He will not see it. He will not know what's going on. He now does pivot back. Now, this is a brutal moment. Now, this is not game. Dark, he will keep the Overlord outside of the ramp or outside of the natural, so he will see the all-in or the proxy coming. He will see the SCVs and the Marines, but it's going to be a later scout and a later response. That's the problem here. As now the SCVs are moving in, and Dark, he will see this. He will see this. He will confirm. There we go. Bunkers are being thrown down. Dark, how does he respond to this? It's too late to pull the boys. Yeah, too late to pull the boys. He abandons the low ground. We respond with a gas geyser, with a factory, sorry, with a roach warren. We're getting into one base roach, and this natural is going to be forfeit. Now, Dark, he will be able to break out, and he may go for a Nidus across the map or with a Ravager Ling Flood. We'll see how he responds. As I believe Dark should not be able to save this expansion. We'll see. Bunkers are done. They're all within range. Oh, he wants the queen. The queen is going to get caught out. Oh, can we save it? Okay, we can. Whew. The queen is going to be saved. Dark, he gets away. As Hatchery will take some hits. Again, Clem is going to be reinforcing, just bolstering this position. And Dark is getting to Ling speed. He's building up his roaches. Getting to Ling Ravager. Hatchery goes down, and here comes the transition. So Clem, he's got the factory on the way. He should follow this up with a CC to eventually expand and take the low ground. Dark, his response here may just be to go for a one base all in himself. And Clem, he abandons it. He abandons the location. Clem, he got what he wanted. Remember, all he wanted was the expansion. Just kill the hatchery, back off, and macro. So Clem, he races back home. He will soon be able to float back home as well. He can salvage the bunkers. Yep, there we go. Gets the salvage off. And Clem can now transition into that next step. And that's why the question becomes, does Dark expand or does he all in? As Dark, he will break out. There's that command center on the way. Again, as you mentioned, like Proxy 2-Rex is not all in. And Dark, he reinforces with things. He's not expanding. Up, now he is. Drone gets sent out. Dark is Ling flooding. And we'll see what Dark can get done. We'll see if Dark can break down that front door and get into the main. Bunkers are on the way, further back. Dark, he's amassing his army. Drone is in position. And there we go. Dark, he does re-expand. Does take the natural. Dark has how many? He has 17 Lings, soon to be 19. 19 Lings. Dark moves in. Does move in, files down those depots. Gets one. Oh, gets. Oh, he almost got the cyclone. Takes down both depots. Supply blocks Clem. Nice start. Very nice start. And he's flooding in. He's flooding into the main base. Can Clem survive this? The boys are being pulled to reinforce, to repair. Files, they will connect. Oof. Bunker taking a lot of hits. Boys are being pulled. How many SCV kills? Oh, as Files, they get a couple of SCVs so far. 8 SCVs going to be going down. Bunker will fall. And Clem, he will hold on, but not without losing 12 workers. And 12 SCV kills. Aye, aye, aye. Now, as the dust settles, Clem still has mules. Oh. He still has mules. He's down 3 workers. The economy here is comparable between the two. Bearing in mind that Clem does have a second natural base. He does have that second CC. And he breaks out. So Clem, he survives, he holds, he breaks out. Behind this Dark, he has not been droning. He has not been droning. He's making more roaches. And Dark, does he intend to drone? Not yet. Yeah, just more roaches. Just more roaches. Dark, he's committing to the all-in. Using the space just for larva. And because of that, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Clem. Clem, he will soon. Yep, there we go. He's taking his natural. Ravagers are building up. And Dark still not droning. He's going for a second wave, a second all-in. Clem, he will spot the army. Boosting into the main. Does find all the overlords. Oh no. And Dark, he commits. He just commits across the map. Clutch transfuse. Then he will get to one of the overlords. Supply blocking Dark. And back across the map, Dark, he has how many? He has 4 Ravagers. 4 Ravagers. Clem, I don't see him defending that low ground. And he has no bunker on the high ground either. Dark, he can pull this off. Ooh, liberated to survive. Pulls back. Marines so far, they hold the line. Files, they will bring down the lid. Oof. Liberator falls. Boys are being pulled. Tank has made it. But can he siege up in time? So far, Stark stepping forward. SCVs are falling. Again, we need those Cyclones to defend. The Cyclones are nowhere to be found. 11 SCV kills. And Dark, he may have just done it. Oh my god. Files connect. More Marines trickling in. Cyclones, they have arrived. Yeah, now with the Cyclones, he holds. Clem, he holds on. It would have been a cleaner hold if the Cyclones were here to begin with. Them being across the map did make this difficult. But now with the power of the Cyclone, these Ravagers, they mean nothing. And Clem, he maintains his economy. He maintains the low ground. He can mule. He can drone. He has stim. So Clem survives now. Dark is forced to drone up. This is late droning. Late droning out of Dark. And even then, he only makes 2. So it doesn't really drone up. He's still making roaches. It's time for wave 3. It's time for round 3. Getting a 3rd expansion. Once again, just for larvae. He's transferring drones over. If at first you don't succeed, try, and just keep on trying. Just smash your face against the wall, and eventually something's gonna break. It's true. Something will break. Someone will break. Clem, he tops off those Cyclones. Remember, he has stim this time, soon to be combat shields. The army's just becoming more efficient. It's just becoming greater here. Legit though, Clem is dead there. Have faith in the Cyclones. What do you mean? Like, the Cyclones popped up. I mean, again, it was a more difficult defense just because the Cyclones were across the map. Speaking of, once again, Clem, he moves out. As he moves out, Dark is moving in. Once again, Clem, he's not making it easy for himself. He gets across the map, which means he has that much less to defend. Dark, he moves in. And he will take over the low ground. Yeah, Biles on the tank will fall. Clem getting caught with his pants down. He needed his army back at home. Did need it back at home. Boys are being pulled. SCV's going to be going down. At the same time, Clem, we're going for the base trade. Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, my God. The Biles. Biles connects. 21 SCV kills. Ay. But Clem is going for the kill, going for the main. The base trade is upon us. The tank does hold, does siege. And Clem is barely holding on back at home, and across the map he overwhelms. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take the series 5-1, taking down Dark in the best of 9. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Very, very intense game there at the end of the series. Clem, he didn't make it easy for himself. He was being very active. He was being active across the map with the Cyclone drop, with the Bio drop as well. But he barely had enough to hold on. Wasn't easy, but did hold against the all-in after all-in after all-in of Dark. Did overwhelm. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Congratulations here, Clem. He will claim the series. Very impressive performance. Dark, he was able to hold his own at certain times, at certain intervals here in the series, specifically on Neon Violet Square. And again, I would have been favoring Dark on a map like Frostline and on a map like King's Cove as well, on these larger maps where Dark has more breathing room, where he has more freedom. But specifically, King's Cove and Frostline, those are the 2 maps where Clem did cheese. Or Clem, he did cheese. He was hyper aggressive. He did break Dark in both maps before Dark would even embrace any kind of mid game. And with that, congratulations here to Clem as he does claim the series. My condolences to Dark, but again, really happy to see a little bit more of Dark while we can. Again, Dark is going to the military soon. He's going this month. He's going in April, so we're going to be able to feature him a couple more times before then, though. Again, he was invited to this show match. He was also invited to the Chicken King Cup later on this evening as well. GG, well played. So congratulations here to Clem. Very strong showing. Again, Clem, he is the best player in the world, so he was favored in this series. But again, Dark, he was able to hold his own. And with that, congratulations. That is going to wrap up our broadcast here. Is going to wrap up our broadcast for the time being, for the morning, as we do have our weekly schedule that we're catching up with. Let's go. So we just wrapped up with our early morning broadcast with the Enki show matches, and as you can see, at 5 p.m. KST, that is going to be 6 p.m. AEST, we are live with the Grand Chicken King Cup. If you're curious, what is the Chicken King Cup? I believe it is like a saying in Chinese. That's why we had the Chicken King show match before WTL between Crank and Mana, F91 and Xiaoxe. But this is an invitational. This is an 8-player invitational. We're going to be featuring players like Dark, like Byun, Gumiho, Percival, Ryung, Creator, Lemon, and Zan. We are going to be the official English cast of this event, so look forward to it, as we're going to be featuring it later on here tonight. Let me just quickly double check here so we can all have a look at the bracket together. Look at the brackets. Hold on. I got you covered. There we go. So this is going to be the Chicken King Cup number 7. We have Creator versus Gumiho, Percival versus Dark. We have Zan versus Byun, and we have Lemon versus Ryung. So an 8-player invitational. This is a 2-day event. Today we're going to be featuring the first round. So we have 4 best of 3s. 4 best of 3s. You can see here that is in just under 5 hours. Just under 5 hours. So we have a little bit of time. So I have 5 hours to get some breakfast, get some food, to rest up, to edit all the VODs. I have a lot of VODs to edit. I have to schedule a bunch of VODs as well, and get ready for the next cast in 5 hours. Let's go, baby, let's go. So again, that's gonna be the quarterfinals. We'll be casting every single match. Tonight is the quarterfinals. Tomorrow, as you can see here, in 1 day, in 6 hours time, is the semifinals. So tomorrow is gonna be the semifinals and the grand finals as well. Best of 5s and a best of 7. So again, this is going to be a 2-day event, and we are going to be the official English casters for this event as well. So a big shout out to those working behind the scenes, to Saber and to the SC Boy scene for reaching out. As always, we're always here to cast. We cast all the StarCraft. We cast more than anyone else out there. All the content. Speaking of, that's why we have a schedule here. So again, that is going to be our second broadcast of the day. Tomorrow we're live with the Kung Fu Cup Warcraft 3 Evolution Edition. You can see there the second Chicken King day on Saturday. Sunday we have HSL, and we also have Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. 2 casts a day every single day. We got all the content here on the CranKy Ducklings. So if you enjoyed the broadcast, if you want some more content, if you want some more StarCraft, we got you covered here on the channel on the CranKy Ducklings. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Light eat since when? Oh no. Oh no. Time to... You're an animal, baby. You're an animal. Oh, no. Not today, not today. I would love to ladder, but I do have some things to catch up on after the broadcast, before the next cast. So do apologize, Maybe next time. Maybe tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow, I should have a little bit more time to ladder. Tomorrow. But yes, this is our weekly schedule, of course. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the casting, if you want some more, then we do have you covered. Then we do have you covered here over on YouTube, _YouTube in the chat. We'll give you a link to our YouTube channel. All of our VODs are available there on a daily basis. So if you can't watch something live, and I don't expect you to, right? You too, I should say. Just because we cast so often here and it's difficult to keep up. Like, there's just so much StarCraft happening on a daily basis. Fun fact, we cast twice a day. we're turning down casts of it, like casts to like tournaments to cast. Like there's even more going on that we're being offered to cast, and we just can't. It's too much. Right? It's just too much. We can't cover everything. So I do apologize. Definitely, I do apologize. That's also why we catch up with replays and stuff like that. Just because there's just so much content going on. So if you see something that you like, if you can't watch it live, YouTube is the place to be. YouTube is the place to be, so do check it out on YouTube. Do check us out on YouTube, as there's plenty of content there. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram as well. We do upload, or we do post whenever we go live, so there's plenty of content out there. We also stream on TikTok, we stream on Facebook, we stream on Kick, so on all platforms we are live. Just see in the chat, what game mode is this? I mean, it's a bit of a later explanation, but the game mode that we were featuring earlier was StarCraft Evolution, a melding of Brood War and SC2. Meanwhile, tomorrow we're going to be casting Warcraft 3 Evolution. That is a melding, that is a merging of Warcraft 3, Brood War, and SC2. Even more chaos, even more craziness. If you haven't seen Warcraft 3 Evolution, it's a lot of fun. Mate, seeing a Mountain King jump in, thunderclap, and just clap like 50 lings is crazy. Like, Warcraft 3 Evolution is out of this world. I would say it does feel a little bit less balanced. It's very chaotic, and it's just very entertaining. Very entertaining. Obviously, Warcraft 3 is more hero-based, so seeing these hero units up against, like, StarCraft 2 armies is insane. So, if you haven't seen it before, I do recommend it. We're going to be featuring it tomorrow. That's going to be on Saturday morning. Do recommend. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and we'll see you later on this evening in 5 hours with some more StarCraft content, or throughout the weekend for some more casts as well. So thank you so much. Meanwhile, we are going to be raiding another StarCraft 2 channel. We'll find someone to send everyone over to who is live at the moment. Who is live? I do see Enki. I think never mind. Enki just wrapped up. Never mind. Enki did just wrap up. Who else is streaming at the moment? We'll find someone. We'll find someone to raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time for some more StarCraft casting here on the CranKy Ducklings. See you next time. Ciao, bye, ciao. See you next time.